Hello friends, welcome to the new session of mycology, that is laboratory diagnosis of dermatophytes. In previous lecture, that was of superficial and cutaneous mycosis, we have seen the dermatophytes and its clinical types. Today we will be discussing with laboratory diagnosis. As we have discussed in previous lecture, this is one of the very important session of mycology. So let's see what are the objectives of today's session. The objectives are, first we will see how to collect the specimen for the dermatophytes, then direct smear examination, how we see the specimen in the microscopy, and how to grow the fungus, the dermatophytes, and finally how to identify the different species and the genus of the dermatophytes. So these are the objectives of today's session. Let's start with the topic. So first we just revise what dermatophytes are. You know that dermatophytes are specialized fungus. They have ability to grow on the skin and its appendages, that is hair and nail. So there are three, this group is comprised of three genus that are namely Trichophyton, which can infect all three things, that is skin, hair and the nail. Then we have got Microsporum, which can infect skin and hair but not nail, and Epidermophyton that can infect skin and nail but not hair. So these are the dermatophytes. And the clinical disease or the condition caused by dermatophyte are named after the portion of the body which is affected by the disease, like we have discussed in previous session, that if it is on the head, then it is known as Tinea capitis. If it is of beard region, then it is known as Tinea barbae, etc. So that we already know. Now we are dealing with how to diagnose the disease. So first specimen which we may receive for the diagnosis are three things, because this infect three things, that is skin, nail and the hair. In skin we have to scrape it. So with a sterile blade you have to collect the specimen, the superficial layer or the epidermis of the skin. In case of nail, the affected nail already becomes very brittle. So if you rub the blade, you will get the powdery thing, or you can cut that portion of the nail if it is over the nail. And in hair also you can clip that particular infected hair, and to identify that which hair is infected, we can take the help of Wood's lamp, which we have discussed in previous session, that in some of the infection of dermatophyte, that hair get fluoros in Wood lamp. So you can select the hair which is infected and you can clip that hair and send it to laboratory. So these are the three specimens which we receive for the diagnosis of the dermatophytes. Skin scraping. So what we do in skin scraping, we see this is the typical lesion. I just mark it so you will understand it better. This is the lesion of the or the ringworm, or the typical lesion of the dermatophyte. So you have to collect from the periphery, because in this area fungus would be growing in active phase. So, and with a sterile blade, this is the blade, you have to rub it on the skin firmly, but the care should be taken that patient should not bleed. So you should be working horizontally, not vertically. So it should not cut the skin, because we are interested in the outermost layer of the skin, epidermis. we don't want the subcutaneous part. So you have to rub it gently but firmly so that the uppermost layer of skin would be coming out of that lesion, and that part is collected and subjected for the laboratory diagnosis. Now nail, you can take the part of the nail which is affected, which is already brittle, so it is very easy to collect it. If it is possible, with nail cutter also you can cut that part, or with a blade, if you rub on the outermost layer of the nail, it would come as a powdery growth which is visible here. And in case of hair, as I have said, that you can simply pluck that infected hair and subject to the lab diagnosis. Now direct smear examination. How to see whether the lesion is due to fungus or not. So it is very easy. In direct smear examination, what we do is KOH preparation, that is potassium hydroxide. That is the most common way of the diagnosing the dermatophytes, because KOH has a typical ability to digest keratin. So when there is a skin cell or the nail or the hair, KOH would dissolve that, and fungal filament would be easily visible when you are treating it with KOH. So you take the for example, skin scraping is there, you add a drop of KOH, allow KOH to work for some time, and then you observe in the microscope. The concentration of KOH is different concentration are used. Usually, as a rule, for hair and nail you need higher concentration of KOH, because the keratin is more dense in hair and the nail compared to skin. That is the only reason, because you require higher KOH to dissolve that keratin part of the nail and the hair. Sometimes you may even keep it in KOH solution overnight, so nail would dissolve and you can see the fungus clearly. Same way, sometimes DMSO is used. Chalcofluor white, that is a stain, can be used to see. See, this is how you will see it in KOH. So here the digested skin would look like this, the background, and in that you can see the fungal filament. Clear? These are the filaments of the fungus. So you can see it very clearly. Sometime we may add the stain like Parker into the KOH, so that would stain the fungal filament, so you can see even more clearly in that. So that is the KOH preparation. This would be the most easy and very fast, rapid way to diagnose the dermatophyte. However, most of the time you will not diagnose the species from this. This would tell that it is a fungal infection, but whether it is trichophyton or microsporum, that is not possible with KOH. So for that you have to grow that fungus, and after growth of the fungus you have to identify the agent which is responsible for the disease. So culture. So what are the media required for culture? As you know, for fungus the most common medium which is used is the Sabrotextrose agar, that is SDA, which contains higher carbohydrate and the lower pH, that would allow the growth of fungus very well. Sometime to make it selective you may add CC supplement, that is chloramphenicol and cyclohexamide. So chloramphenicol would inhibit some bacterial contamination if it is there on the skin, and cyclohexamide would inhibit the saprophytic fungus, which are the contaminants. so dermatophytes can grow easily. Same way, dermatophyte test medium, which is a specific medium for the growth of the dermatophyte, which has all the CC supplement plus indicator. So the growth would be seen as a colored thing. And how to identify the species? For example, in culture on Seborrhoeic agar there is a growth. Then how we will identify the species? So there are three things which would help us to identify the various species of the genus and the species of the dermatophytes. These are, first is the colony morphology, how do they grow on the Seborrhoeic agar. It's macro and microconidia. These two, macro and microconidia, is nothing but the asexual spores of the fungus, which are, if it is unicellular, we call it microconidia. If it is multicellular, then we call it macroconidia. So different species have a different characteristic of macro size, shape, and its arrangement. So you can diagnose by that. And sometimes there is a characteristic hypha. So this all would help you to diagnose the type of fungus which is there, to identify the species, genus, and the species of the dermatophytes. So these are the macroconidia and the microconidia. As I have said, the unicellular, these two are the microconidia. Clear? Sometime it may be arranged singly, sometime it is in the grapes like bunch. And these three, the upper layer, these are the multicellular, so we would call it macroconidia because it is a more cells are there. So the macroconidia of Trichophyton are long, like pencil shaped. Here it is spindle shaped, and here in Epidermophyton it is club shaped. So by that you can differentiate Trichophyton, that is pencil shaped, spindle shaped, that is microsporum, and Epidermophyton, which is club shaped. So this would help you to differentiate between various species and the genus of fungus. So this would tell you Trichophyton, the macroconidia would be rare. So you will see it, but very rarely. It is not a common and constant feature. While microconidia are abundant, plenty of microconidia would be seen. In microsporum, there is a many macroconidia, and they are thick walled, and many times it is rough. Its wall is very rough. Some spiny thing would be there on the its wall. And microconidia is rare. In Epidermophyton, macroconidia are many, and it is smooth walled, and most of the time it is club shaped. On the tip it is swollen, so it is a club shape, and microconidia are absent. So this would help you to diagnose. We will see the real picture which you can see in the lactophenol blue preparation. When fungus grows and you prepare it in the microscope with the help of lactophenol, what you will see, this is the Epidermophyton flocosum. This is its growth on Seborrhoeic agar. You can see yellowish brown colony, and this is how its macroconidia would look like. You can see it is club shaped. I just point out so you can understand it clearly. Clear? This is the base, this is the tip, and it is a club shaped macroconidia. These all are the macroconidia of the Epidermophyton. Microsporum, this is the colony. The center is white, it is velvety, if you see the texture of the colony, it is velvety, and the periphery is yellowish. And if you see its microscopy, you can see there are many macroconidia, and you see the thickness of its wall and its characteristic shape, which is tapering at both the end and swollen in the middle. So this is known as spindle shape. Clear? So this is how you can differentiate the various species of the dermatophytes. This is Trichophyton mentagrophyte. These are very common fungus. We have not taken the picture of all the dermatophytes, but we have I am trying to show you the common fungus which are isolated. So in Trichophyton mentagrophyte is very common. This is the growth on the seborrheic agar, and this is how it would look like in the microscopy. So here I just show you these small dots, which you will see numerous dots are there. So this is abundant microconidia. Clear? So plenty of microconidia is there, but rarely you will see macroconidia. If it is there, it is a cigar shaped macroconidia. And other characteristic feature which you see here in this picture, I just want to point out, that is spiral hyphae. If you can see here, the hyphae at the end is spiral. Here it is spiral hyphae. Here also it is spiral hyphae. So that is a characteristic of Trichophyton mentagrophyte. So by such characteristic you will be able to identify. Trichophyton rubrum, as its name suggests, it secretes beautiful red pigment. So the colony, or if you see even the back side of the colony, which secrete red color, so the medium turns red in the color. And if you see the microscopic morphology, these are the microconidia, small single celled, and this is macroconidia, which is thin and long. This is known as pencil shaped. Trichophyton macroconidia, thin and long. So that is the Trichophyton rubrum. There are various identification tests for the this. One is urease test, just like urease test which we do in the bacteriology. It can be done for the fungus also. Some of the fungus are urease positive, so that would help us in the diagnosis. Some of the fungus may have a specific nutritional requirement, so that also would help us to diagnose the species. We are not going in the detail of that species level diagnosis. And hair perforation test, that is a test which will tell whether fungus is able to perforate in the hair or not. So that would tell us, it would help us in the diagnosis or the identification of the fungus. When you grow the fungus in presence of hair of a healthy human being, usually it is infant hair is taken, it is not from the patient. So if that hair is kept along with our fungus, if fungus is able to penetrate inside the hair, then hair perforation test is positive. If it fails to invade the hair, then hair perforation test is negative. You can understand it very clearly by this picture. See, when we have kept the hair in the petri dish with the media and the fungus, in the first, here the fungus has perforated it is able to penetrate in the hair, while here the hair shaft is clear without any fungal penetration. So the first is hair perforation test positive. Example is Trichophyton mentagrophyte. while Trichophyton rubrum does not penetrate inside the hair, so hair perforation test is negative. So these are the ways by which you can identify the fungus and its genus as well as the species of the dermatophytes. So with this we finish today's lecture. In the summary, what we have to remember and write in the exam, when dermatophyte is asked as a short note, you need to write what dermatophyte is, its clinical types and its lab diagnosis. So the points would be collection of the specimen, its culture usually on the Seborrhoeides agar, the special medium is DTM, that is dermatophyte test medium, and its identification is based on the presence of its colony morphology and the macroconidia and the microconidia and the type of hyphae. So that would help you in the diagnosis of the fungus. So with this we finish today's lecture. Thank you very much for attending this session, and feel free to ask. You do read it, because what I have tried is to show you the picture so you can understand it well, but you need to read in the textbook the same thing so you will understand it better. So with this I finish today's session. Thank you.